Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. It's December 4th. No, I'm just joking. It's November 4th. I don't know why that thing said it was starting in 30 days. But hey, we fixed it. It's now starting now. It's starting live. We're live. We're going live. Shout out to Crypto Blood for that line. So, guys, Bitcoin took a little dumps this morning, this weekend, I should say. Our 3D trend has printed in the pink, and now we're sitting right here getting the red candle. Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ, all opening to the downside today. Looks like the gold is doing meh. But we got a lot to jump into. We're going to do a full election breakdown. There's one state that is going to decide who is president. And when you look at the idea that we don't do a democracy, we do electoral colleges, because if we didn't, literally California and New York would decide who the president was for the other 48 states. It's going to come down to one state deciding who is the president this year. And we're going to be taking a look at all of that data. I've got a full breakdown on it for you today, but most importantly, we're going to look at the markets and see where we can find some support, because that's going to be the important thing, is support, where we're going to get that bounce. You can see here on the crypto bubbles, guys, a little bit of green still on the daily, but when we go on the hourly, everything is turning red right now. Looking at the market cap for the daily, Bitcoin up 0.73%. ETH up 0.88, and it's not looking too solid right now. But guys, we're going to go through all that and a whole lot more right here today on the Morning Market Report. This is Piper Academy. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I have the bear. The bear is in the house. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Piper Bear is back on board, and but I'm not here by myself. I think there might be some Hopium. I think Dr. Hopium and Dr. Math are in the house with me today on the panel. Let's go ahead and bring them up. It's the OC guy and Tradefly. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
What is going on, man? I don't know if we'll say hopium. I would just say that I was a little more bullish while you were a little more bearish. But we went up. We tested that 73K. So I'm gonna chill out right now. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of take a step back. I sold off at 68 too. But hey, username. I don't know about Dr. Hopium. Maybe a little bit more Dr. Evil.
Sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads.
I'm just saying. But hey, with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's give some shout outs to people in the chat here. Username, what's up, my guy? Hope all is well. I hope you had a great weekend. Alexandra G, best mod in the house. We love you a long time, lady. The OC guy, of course, he's right next to me, but he's chatting it up in here. He's chatting it up. Ninja Glock, what's up? Dog, how you doing? Harp is in the house. Hey, man, we got a showdown coming up. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders. Let's get it. Both are having very good seasons. Eric Wallen in the house. He said, Piper, you bet on Robinhood? I'll let you answer that once we get
He
down.
actually asked, is anyone betting on Robinhood? So I don't know.
Anyone.
Yeah, because you can bet on who's going to win the election. I will tell you this. I would rather bet right now on Bitcoin than on the elections. That's how close it is. So it's not looking good.
That's even money, baby. Even money. Let's go. All right. Crypto coin mindset with a good morning. BC Port Corp. Hey, I was in there a little bit today. Watched a little bit of the show. Good job, guys. Little Fish with a good morning. How you doing? And of course, one of our newest mods, Wix wife, Fine 89. How you doing? Hope you had a great weekend. And Wick 589, of course, he's in here too. The dynamic duo. Falco gifting a 1 Piper Academy membership. Thank you very much, brother. We appreciate you. And that went to Crypto Ali, I guess, if I'm saying that correctly. Crypto Chef in the house. What's up, dude? How are you? And Buck with the GM and the flags, baby. You know his thing. All right. I think I hit. Oh. Trade Intuitions in the house. Joe, my man. Go check out his channel. Retro Mike Tech, also a great channel. He's in the house. He is one of our loyal guests. Good to have you in the chat, brother.
Awesome. OC, how you doing, man? How was your weekend? First of all, for people that don't know, OC lives in Mexico. They don't have daylight savings time. So at 6:30 this morning, OC messaged me and goes, "Are we going live today?" And I said, "Hey, bro, daylight savings time. We still got 40 minutes." And he was like, "Score, going to get coffee. I'll be back." So, but how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. I thought I was running late for the show. As every morning, the sheets kind of like get sticky for some reason. It's hard to get out off bed, right? But I thought I was running a little bit sharp, not late, sharp this time, right? And I was, hey guys, where's everybody? I was panicking and daytime savings, and I was for 1 second, dude. I completely missed it. It was 1 hour ago, and you're 1 hour early. Hey, yes, I'm early.
You were early, yes, sir.
Great morning. Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the news because we got a lot to unpack today, a lot of charts to look at. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now, especially all of my other content creators in here. We got Lunar Beaches. We've got, BC Port Corp in here with us right now. Who else? We got Trade Intuition, and then, of course, Crypto Coin Mindset. Links getting dropped there by Alexander G. I appreciate all of you guys coming by here, getting your morning alpha so that you guys can go forth and do even greater things. Love it. Love this community. You guys rock, man.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean.
And let's go check out and see what we got over there. Jumping into the news, guys, we are sitting at $2.3 trillion right now, up 1% on that total market cap. We are seeing a lot of volume, a lot of volatility, and that fear and greed index is sitting at 48 right now, sitting in fear from that pullback we had this weekend. Let's jump over here and take a look at the crypto bubbles. You can see here quite a bit of green here. We got some things like Ray, Rune, ADA. ADA took a hard pullback. Caspa back 1.8%. Matter of fact, I want to show you guys this here. This is beautiful. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. He said, let me see what he said here. He said, Caspa with the land before time pattern. The next pattern after this is extinction. So shout out to Retro Mike Tech for that one. It was great. Loved seeing that on X. Let's go over here and check out what we got going on the prices. Bitcoin sitting at $68,300 right now, up 0.67%, just under 0.7% for the daily. But in the last hour, dropping almost a full percent. Ethereum down about 0.8% in the past hour, up 0.84% in the daily. Let's just look at the big movers. Solana's up 1.5 on the daily, but losing a full percent in the past hour. XRP up 2.6%. Dogecoin, shout out to FD White, man. Doge up 7% on the daily right now, only down about 0.8%. Toncoin, up 2.2%. Nothing really huge here. Doge looks like the big winner today on these moves, guys. Anybody moving a lot on the spots here? It looks like Aptos moved up to number 22. Looks like Polkadot has moved up to number 16. Chainlink has dropped down to number 15. I'm not sure how that becomes a $800 or $700 token if it can't keep market cap positioning. I'm just saying. Let's jump over here to economic calendar, guys. Today we got factory orders month over month. That's coming in at 9 a.m. my time. That's 11 a.m. on the East Coast. Looks like right now it's expected to be even lower. So factory orders slowing down going into the holiday season. It's a little peculiar in my opinion. Another reason that I got the bear on today. Tomorrow, of course, we got ISM services going to come in at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But really, the big one's going to be tomorrow night's presidential elections. That's what we're going to be watching. See, ISM services right now expected to be down to neutral. So just slightly down to neutral. The next big thing that we have coming up this week is going to be initial jobless claims on Thursday, non-farm productivity, and then federal interest rate decision. That is all November 7th, guys. This Thursday, 2 days after the election. Get another Fed rate decision and a Fed press conference. FOMC day is upon us. Let's move over here. Do I have anything to talk about in here yet? Bitcoin dominance. We're going to look at that. Warren Buffett. We're going to talk about this, I think, now. Let's do it now. We're going to talk about this now. We're doing it now. Warren Buffett, guys, according to the Kabisi letter, Warren Buffett in 2024 sold over $100 billion of Apple stock, halted Berkshire Hathaway stock buyback. So if you guys don't know, during earnings, they talk about, we're going to do a buyback. Microsoft has done it. NVIDIA has done it. It's caused a lot of stock movement. And well, Berkshire Hathaway said, we're going to do a buyback also. They've halted that. They said, we are not buying back our stock at this price. Built largest cash balance in the company's history. They're currently sitting on $325 billion. They're holding $288 billion in treasury bills, and he now owns $93 billion more treasury bills than the Fed. Halting buybacks until prices below Berkshire's intrinsic value. Warren Buffett is positioning like a recession is coming in, guys, and he's been around. He's the oracle. So just saying. Warren Buffett dumping that $100 million. We just talked about that. He's sitting at that $325 billion, guys. He's never been in this type of cash position ever. So what's he seeing? What does he know that we don't? Bitcoin is hovering just above $68,500 as weekend dip prompts $230 million in liquidations just before the elections. QCP Capital analysts note rising demand for $75,000 call options expiring in November and heightened volatility in U.S. election days. Guys, let's repeat that. Capital analysts note rising demand for a $75,000 call options. Call means you think it's going up. You put in a call, you call up, you put down, right? So there are rising demand for call options being put in for Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is going to be at $75,000 in November. So keep that in mind. We could see a lot of volatility. Cryptocurrency exchanges experience a surge in long liquidations. Traders positioned over the weekend as the price of Bitcoin dropped over 4% from the high of over 71,000 on Friday and now hovers around 68.5. So I think that's about all I want to do in here for now on the news. I do have some other thing. Resilient economy and strong earnings are overpowering normal election worries. We might talk about that. We got a lot to get into though. So let's just jump back over here and talk about old Berkshire guy there, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, probably one of the smartest men in the market history, right up there next to Charlie Munger. And I can agree with 99.9% of everything he says. However, he loses me when he turns against Bitcoin. I think he's just too much of a boomer to accept what code can be. But, you know, his way is tried and true, and it's worked well for him. But sitting on this much cash and holding this much in treasury bonds, it's got to make you wonder, is the entire market wrong, or is this one dude wrong, as right as he's always been? Tradefly, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I mean, it's kind of tough, but to be honest, I would still take that into my analysis, right? Like, this guy's super smart. He's been doing it for a really long time. 2023 was a boom for stocks. Like, got to think that he is very, very much in the profit, you know, in the green on, I would say, most of his entries, right? So when you have that, at some point, like I try to tell you guys this a lot, is you're going to have an exit strategy. At some point, you got to realize the gains. And if they're in those trades for more than a year, it makes a lot of sense, because there's not going to be any more of a break by holding on to it longer, right? Like, there could be an opportunity for maybe more profit, which Apple did continue to go up after he exited. But I don't think he really cares about that, because he's won the day. He's won the trade. They realize the profits, and then they sit back and they kind of watch the market shake out. And then he waits for the next setup. So when Berkshire Hathaway starts buying their stock back again, maybe that might be, you know, a sign for him to be like, oh, okay, this is at a good value for me, maybe to take an entry. I'm not saying that he will on Berkshire Hathaway, but just in general, when companies start doing that, you start to realize that if they're willing to buy back their stock at that value, they've already assessed the value of that stock. They've
Right.
done more study on that stock than you probably could ever do as the company that is buying that stock, right? Because it's theirs. So I would say watch what he does and take it in, right? When you watch what's her name? Darn it, I'm drawing a blank right now, but she's probably one of the best traders. She's a government official. It's more or less insider trading, and everyone follows her.
Oh, Nancy
Speaker
Pelosi.
of the House, Nancy Pelosi. There you go. You got to take that stuff into account, because let's be honest, she has the inside track. She has the inside information. She knows what's happening. And I would imagine that Warren Buffett has some very, very powerful, smart, rich friends, and he can get some advice from them. And, you know, it's part of it. It's part of it. And there's a reason that people watch these other individuals that are very wealthy, because they're making smart decisions and they consistently win. So
Well,
that's what I'll say.
There's been some speculation that he may have been selling off his stocks because if Kamala wins, they've got that rate, that increase on capital gains tax, and that maybe it was for that. And that would explain selling now on as much as he's sold off, but it does not explain sitting on treasury bonds the way that he is. So, I mean, you don't sit in treasury bonds unless you think the market's flipping and, the treasury bonds are your safety, your zero risk safety move. So I don't know. It's yeah, you could go with the first one, but then it doesn't explain the second part of that. So
yeah, so I'll say my rebuttal to that is that even if Kamala gets in, like, it's gonna take time. They're gonna have enough time to exit.
oh yeah,
Like
oh
once
yeah,
they introduce that bill, once it's up for an actual to put it into law, then they still have time to get out. So I think that is negligible. I think that's speculation that doesn't even make sense. But that's just my own opinion there. I think they're well ahead of that. I wouldn't even worry about that.
Well, it's just people trying to make sense of the craziness of the market. That's, and so when you got, it's got to be some reason. Why is he doing this? It can't be a recession. There's no way there's a recession coming, right? I think we have if you wanted me to bet, Eric Wallen asked me earlier, am I betting on the elections on Robinhood? I think Robinhood should run a bet on, do we have an election in the next 12 months? I would bet on that before I would bet on who's going to be president tomorrow. So let's go ahead. Hell, I'd bet on that before I'd bet on who's president right now. Has anybody seen Biden? Where is our president? I just got to say.
I was just talking about that this morning. I was like, I've never seen
where the F is our president?
An absent president. Like, it's wild. Like, he's ghost. Like, he's made what, like 4 or 5 appearances for 4 or 5 months?
Evidently, it doesn't matter who's going to be president on this next election. We could operate without a president. There's an autonomous machine running the government, evidently. We don't need a president. So
we knew that. Let's be real.
Knew that.
We knew that anyway. When Biden got elected, like, initially you're like, okay, maybe this guy's president. And then after like 6 months to a year, you're like, okay, who the hell's running the United States? Because it ain't this guy. This guy can barely get a sentence out. So, he falls off the stage half the time. He can't ride a bike. Like, this dude, he's in the wrong place. Like,
we're getting so demonetized today and banned.
Hey, you know what I got? YouTube, kiss my butt, man.
All right, let's talk about. Trip to Trey said he's in the garbage truck. Yes, he's hauling us around. If you're garbage, put a 1 in chat. If you're garbage, if you know. All right, let's go jump in and check out this Bitcoin chart because we got to get to the election stuff. I've got a great election breakdown for you guys today. So let's go take a look at that. The charts. Guys, we did have this range up here that I was talking about on Friday. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart here. And I said, look, it's at $72,000. We've got to hold this. As soon as we broke it, guys, look, it free run down. Now, you guys saw this little pump here. I'm going to explain to you why this happened. This is a really simple thing. You just go in here, you turn on Market Dynamics Pro, okay? And then you turn on your fair value gaps. And you can see that this big candle here created this nice fair value gap right there. What does that mean? It means it's a big candle with no other price action in it. Fair value gap typically gets wiped out about 50% of it. Look at that wick. It cleaned out about 55% of it and then pulled back down. There's why you had that pump up. And if you had Chart Prime on, you would know that that was a sucker's rally to grab fair value gap money and keep on going. So shout out to Chart Prime on that one. Then we get the green dot here. That green dot is from this chart pattern right here that has been on this chart for a while. It is a rising wedge. You see that rising wedge there? That is the white line right here and the white line right here. We got that nice rising wedge. We got the green dot there. That is an indication of a breakout of that chart pattern. We get a good OC retest here, several 4-hour candles on this thing, and it gave a measured move to right here. Let me turn off the 3D trend so you can see it. You got the nice dash line down and the dash line over. That was the target that this called for coming in right there at about $67,500 is what I told our trade community this weekend. 67.5 breakout. Guys, look, bam, wick down to it, picked it up, bounced on the dynamic reactor, and that is currently our support. Right now, Bitcoin starting to come back down to test this. I'm actually watching for a test of the 786 at 67,234 coming in line with the quantum reactor sometime in the next 2 days. I think it might be by tomorrow afternoon that this gets hit here, and then we're going to be in that election time period, and anything after that is I can't call it because I have to know what's going on with the elections. But I will tell you right now, it's coming down to one state. We're going to be talking about that in just a second. Here on the oscillators, though, we are seeing the oscillator ribbon starting to come back down. Trade volume is dropping. Money flow still green, but on a decline. Let's go over here and check out the Gaussian's channel, guys. We did break above the Gaussian channel here on the 5-day or 3-day, excuse me. We did break above it. We tested. We're now retesting again here. So we're looking pretty strong there as far as a retest. And then looking at my master chart, guys, in our trade range, we're still operating in status quo, if you will. Looking over here at the Piper Sniper, still have not printed that daily green there for target lock. And until that happens, I cannot be fully 100% bullish on Bitcoin's price action. So that's what I'm seeing there. Let's kick it over to TradeFly because I know he's got some heat map for me. Bring that magic, bro. What you got?
You know it, man. I got the heat map on the 3-day chart right now. You can see the hot spot. Obviously, it's going to be up here over the last area of resistance. So we're sitting at about 70,600. Be honest, though, that is very, very achievable to clear out that liquidity. However, it does look like we're kind of losing a little bit of steam. You can see the trend is starting to really reverse and kind of go down and right now. And that's one thing you got to look for when you're looking at going into this liquidity is which way is the price action moving. Unfortunately, it's not really moving to the upside. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the area to the downside, right? Which is there's more liquidity down here as well. And that's sitting at about 67.3. All right. So your two spots on the map, about 70,600. And 67,300 is where it starts. There's kind of two hot spots there and a little bit further down under 67. So let's talk about 67,300. Let's go over to the map real quick here. Not the map. Let's go over to the Bitcoin daily. All right, looking at Bitcoin on the daily. Couple key areas. Obviously. All right. So looking at Bitcoin on the daily here, all-time high. We were getting real close to retesting that. Look at this beautiful breakout call by Chart Prime, though. Shill for that. Breakout, gave you the smart target, hit it, and then got rejected. We're coming back down to this trend line right here. We've talked about this trend line quite a bit on this show, to be honest with you. I think we've been talking about it for maybe a month at least now, and we're really retesting that area of support. So you have the 2021 high, you got the point of control, which it wicked off of, and then you have this trend line. So there's a lot of confluence in this area right now at about 68.2 to 69.2. So it's a little bit of a range, but there's a lot of support sitting in that area. So there's an opportunity for us to actually see a bounce off that area. Now, going into the election right now, I think there's uncertainty. And I think that's probably going to be a general consensus throughout the markets. Everyone, I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of people are going to probably take a pause and be like, let me kind of see how this shakes out. And then we'll kind of go from there, right? So that's my personal feeling. If we're just talking about sentiment going into some of these moves, I think people are going to just kind of take a step back. But you do have the point of control. That's kind of your, last little area that can hold you up here. But if you go to the 4-hour, let's add a little confluence to that because I do remember the dynamic reactor working its way up as well. So let's take a look. Let's give it some time to load here. There you go. So there's the dynamic reactor working its way up as well. So that just adds to the confluence. It is printing a broadening wedge there. I don't know how crazy I would get about that. But really, what I'm really getting at is there's confluence. All right, there's an opportunity to kind of maintain this area. If it breaks down, not that big a deal. It's going to be kind of, I think, a pretty significant fall because then you're talking about hitting this trend line as well as a horizontal level of support. And that brings me back to where I've been talking about, right? So if we lose this, we get an OC retest, like we get something like this where we come down, I'm going to be chomping at the bit because I think this now opens up the door for this area here. And we've been, again, talking about this area for a couple weeks at a minimum. And I think that that is a high confluence area. All right. So that area, you have the trend line adding support. You have a horizontal level of support. You have the dynamic reactor on the daily, which is a strong indicator for us. And I mean, this is all looking at confluence without ever even looking at the oscillator. Okay. So again, limit order I have sitting here at 63. I think mine is actually a little bit higher. I wanted to beat the bounce here. So I think I'm somewhere a little bit closer, about 63.7. I was just above it. I'd have to go back and look where I put it, but it's around here. Okay. So I just want to be ahead of all of this. I don't want to get a bounce before it actually reaches down here. To me, just preemptively being ahead of the price action. So that's kind of the big levels I'm looking at. Again, lots of confluence in this area. I mean, it's really a tough call. Once you're in here, it's kind of jarbled. I'd look for the OC retest on the top or the bottom side. I think right now the price action is heading down. Liquidity's down here for it to grab. Remember, I think we said 67.3 or so. So that is not far away, and that puts you right under the point of control. So for it to actually grab that liquidity, it would have to break under the point of control. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be very, very interesting. And of course, you have the median of this channel, all-time high at the top side, adding resistance up above. So that's kind of the key areas I'm looking at. I would say right now we're kind of in a no trade zone. I like to call it. I call it the no zone. All right. So I wouldn't mess with it right here. I would let it break out to the top or the bottom side before we start looking at a long or a short position. And then I'm sitting here waiting with a limit order in case the price action comes down. So I did take a quick play on a short up here. And that was just, I do that all the time when we go to an all-time high. That was a real quick, an intraday trade. But this is my next thing that I'm looking at right here is right around, 63.5, 63.7, somewhere in that area. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at. Bitcoin. Passing on to the next.
Awesome. So we do have a poll going. I'm going to jump over to OC's chart here in just a second. We've got a poll going right now, though, guys. How will Bitcoin perform based on elections winners? It says Trump pump, Kamala dump, Kamala pump, Trump dump, or Bitcoin don't give AF. And right now it's looking like 50% of the voters have said that Trump pump, Kamala dump. Second place is 44% with Bitcoin don't give AF. I got news for you. It may not give AF long term, but short term, Bitcoin cares. It's still a risk asset, but it will give you some opportunities. I do think there's opportunities coming to pick up some cheaper Bitcoin. So,
have you noticed? Have you noticed that Bitcoin has been moving with Trump sentiment?
Yeah.
When the polls are up and he had that big split, we're testing all-time highs. When the polls come back down to almost even, guess what we did? Dumpsy do. I mean, we've fallen almost $5,000 just based, I think, on the sentiment changing of the polls.
It's crazy. Oh, hey, Alexandra G gifted 5 Academy memberships here. Who got those? Can you read those off for us, TradeFly, before we jump over to OC's chart?
Absolutely. You got Silver Daz, XRP, Jay Becker, John Foster Crypto, Drew, Sergio, Angel. And I think that is it. That's all 5. Get over to the Discord, man. There's some perks over there, baby.
Yeah, get those perks, babe. Shout out to Alexandra G, mod queen, best mod in the business, and
best.
Very, very, very close.
Nice for Christmas, by the way, boys. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, see, what are you seeing on your chart real fast? And then let's get into some election talk. Guys, not politics, but you got to know what's going on. It's going to come down to one state. I'm going to show you what that state is when we come back. OC, what you got for us, bro?
Absolutely. So take a look at here the Bitcoin chart. I mean, this weekend, guys, we just had the bounce that I've been waiting for so long, which is dynamic reactor. Not only dynamic reactor, we also did this kind of like a very innocent, very mindless, trend line that we have here. And when you zoom out, oh my God, look at that. Huge trend line that we have from the beginning of the bull market here since we started stalling here, and has been a measure disaster every single time that we touch it, right? Until right here, breakout. Remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Guys, we have retest, all right? We have retest right around the area that I was expecting between this green trend line and this white trend line with a flip of the rune, or at least we're having that bullish divergence. Pretty neat. Something that I want to point out here, look at those clouds. Let me make that big. Oh, come on, the other way around. Here we go. This one is it. All right, perfect. So look at those clouds really closely, and we are not only bouncing up from here, we are not only into the green cloud, but also look at the compression that we're having. You see that? It seems that we are still going to be compressing a little bit more. Hopefully we do compress a little bit lower like this. This will increase the possibilities for us to break to the upside. Remember, cloud compression doesn't tell us where is it going to be breaking out, but usually it gives us a hint. That hint can be reached from or at going at the 50 line in here, and then looking whether that cloud is above or below that 50% line at the top or at the bottom. It doesn't matter. Like, for example, right here, let's go for that minus 50. There we go, and we're slightly up, right? So what we want to be here is usually the mass of that compression to be to the opposite of the breakout. Why? So we don't have too much room left to do a negative or a continuation bearish movement, right? So that's why I'm saying that I would like to see that compression happen to the downside, so we can be slightly below the negative 50 line here. That will basically compress the movement to have a burst to the opposite direction, like it happening here. I mean, this might not be an excellent example because the actual mass of it is right at the middle, right at the center. But nonetheless, I think this kind of like illustrate what I'm talking about, right? Cloud compression and then decompression with an explosive movement. Let's just see it one more time. Look at that. That compression at the top and then bursting to the bottom to the next big support, right? Compression at the top. Look at that, big decompression explosion to the bottom. So we're having the opposite of this one. This is exactly what I want to see. Compression at the bottom, right? Let me just clear this up so we can have a picture of it. Decompression at the opposite way if we are able to compress lower down below. All right, so the story is not there yet, but I think we're seeing this. I do have a little bit of a more complex view on the little poll here. I think that for the immediate short-term scenario, just like Piper mentioned, we're gonna see a reaction of it, just like, and this is because of specific things. I don't want this get taken out of context. All right, still I'm gonna say it. So as Elon Musk is the CEO for Dogecoin, I think at this moment, who's been moving it by sentiment, it is Donald Trump as CEO of Bitcoin. That's not actually the actual case, but kind of like going that way, right? That being said, I think that if Trump wins, we're going to have an immediate pump and then a market retracement. So something like that, right? At the end of it all, I think we're going to be ranging across this area if Trump wins. If Kamala wins, I think that we're going to have the opposite movement. It's going to be the same kind of like a directionality right here. And then we're going to be going for this other big trend line at least, right? So making maybe a little bouncing here and going to this area and then a market correction. And I think the only difference between seeing Kamala and Trump winning, it is basically the location of the ranging box. This one's going to be for Donald, and this one's going to be for Kamala Harris. All right, so I think that's going to be it. At the end of it all, I don't think that Bitcoin is going to care too much in the long run, as Piper mentioned. But I think that instantaneously we're going to be seeing that movement. I think that's why we are compressing here, because we have a big sentiment. But still, after we go over the electional data, I will give you my thoughts from the outside on who I think is going to win and why, that being compared to Mexico. But other than that, turning it back to you guys.
Awesome. Shout out to Crypto Billy in the chat. I'm going to be on with Crypto Billy tomorrow night on Billy Goat Tales, tracking election stuff. So, guys, this is a test run for it. Here we go. So there you go. Yeah, right there. Crypto Billy. Piper on Billy Goat Tales Tuesday election space. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do that. All right. Let's go talk about election stuff, guys. I'm pulling this data, methodology, and everything from 270 to win. Let's jump over to my thing here. And we'll talk about this. So this is the 2024 presidential election polls. 270 to win is the website. And what they do is they pull a methodology. If we go all the way to the bottom, I believe that's where they list the methodology at. If you guys don't know what a methodology is, it is the process of which they pull the data. Anyway, so where it's not applicable, the most recent 2024 presidential election poll is being used, and the average methodology summarized below the table. The default view is Harris versus Trump head-to-head. They're not doing any of the independent third-party candidates in there. And so let's talk about state by state. Nationally, right now, looking at over 23 polls, last poll took place on November 4th. The national average right now has Harris ahead by 1.1%. Could be the reason that we saw the pullback in the markets, just saying. If you guys look here on this chart, you will see your state there and who is currently in the lead. Alaska, Trump; Arizona, Trump; Arkansas, Trump by a large percentage there. Harris in California by 24.8. No surprise there. Colorado, Harris; Connecticut, Harris, so on and so forth. You guys can see all that. I'll just scroll through here for a second, but then we're going to look at the swing states and where they are currently sitting at. Can I get a refresh on that, please? Because you do not want to play nicely with me, do you? Yeah, there we go. So there's the states. Let me just pull it over to here. We'll go to the state. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. Can you get out of here, Progressive? Thank you. So when we look at this from the competitive state, and we jump over to the map here, you can see that currently, and let's refresh this because see, it might have been some changes this morning. Democrats currently have, if you don't know, you got to get 270 electoral college votes in order to win. So currently 226 is what the Democrats have with Kamala Harris based on the polls by state right now across 23 to 24 different polls. Republicans only have 219. But we've got some swing states here. And if we take a look at those swing states here and we start to narrow it down by looking at who has what, okay? So let me bring this in just a little bit there. There we go. Let's go back over to this chart here. I don't know what you're doing there, sir. Oh, you're an ad. Thank you. And we start looking at the competitiveness. Let's go first with... Let's go first because we have a tie in Pennsylvania. We'll go with Nevada first. So let's jump over to Nevada. It says Nevada is expected to win for Trump. So let's go there and we'll make that red. So we got that one. Now we're sitting at 219, 226. Let's go over here and let's put Wisconsin is projected right now to have Harris winning. So let's go over to Wisconsin and make that blue. Let's go with Georgia. Georgia has Trump winning by 1.2%, so Georgia is going to be red. Let's go in here and take a look at North Carolina. North Carolina has projected a 1.2% win for Trump. Not surprising considering that Kamala Harris just gave them all $750. Evidently, that's not enough to buy votes in North Carolina. If you take a look at Arizona, they got Trump winning by 1.6%. So Arizona going to Trump. We got Michigan going to Harris by a 1.7% lead based on the polls. Guys, that puts it down to an even tie. Let's go ahead and throw in this on the election, and you can see that. Look, right now, Republicans win. If Trump wins there, if Kamala Harris wins, it goes to the Democrats. Again, Trump, Pennsylvania, goes red. He wins the election. Right now it's tied. Kamala Harris, Democrats win. It's coming down to Pennsylvania being the winner. And the reason that I say Pennsylvania, not one of these other swing states, is because right here, it's real simple. If we jump over here and we look, all of the other ones have projected winners. The only one that is tied currently right now is Pennsylvania. It is tied with 23 polls there in Pennsylvania. So right now, Pennsylvania going to be the deciding factor of who wins. Tradefly went black. There, welcome back, Tradefly. Your camera went black and then you came back to us. Welcome. He said, I'm out of here. Screw this. I'm moving to Puerto Rico. OC, you said you had you were going to wait till I got done with that breakdown. And then you were going to give your projection, your opinion on who's going to win. What's your thoughts on this? Based on what you've seen in Mexico, because you've seen manipulation in Mexico. So
yes. Yes, I mean, to say the least, guys. I mean, just so you know, a little bit in here. My father used to be a politician, and I got to see insides of it, and really surprising things. Right? What is not surprising, but many people don't understand or don't see it or don't want to accept it. It is that politics seek power. All right. Well, good politics seek power. Let me ask you, Trey Flight and Piper, and also the alumni here. One for the alumni. One, if you rather have power than money, or two, if you rather have money than power. Trey Flight, Army Piper, what would you guys rather have?
I would say that most people in positions of elected government officials are looking for power over money. However, that power does lead to wealth as well, right? They're able to affect things that can increase their ability to become more wealthy, right? So there's a I think a element of both, to be honest with you. And there are some people in the world that just rather be stupid rich and don't really care about power. They just want to have fun, you know? So for me personally, I think I rather have power in the sense that I want to have the ability to affect change. So if I were to be in a position where I could have an impact on the world, on people, society, you got to have power to be able to make an impact. And, you know, money does, you know, talk in essence. The very, very wealthy do own most of the media, right? So they do have an impact on our society and how that works as well. So I'll say power because I'm not a wealthy person and I don't know, you know, what impact I can have from that, you know, position. And that's kind of where I'll leave it. So power for me over money.
I'll take money. I'll take money all day, every day over power. Power power gets you too much attention, too many spotlights on you. Money, you can buy anonymity. So I'll just disappear with my cash and become a hermit on some island out in the Caribbean that I own and call it a day. So, and the alumni, of course, you're all invited. So, yeah, I'll take the money all day, every day.
And I would say it because Piper know his way around this. But that's because you can have no money, still have power, and through power manipulate things, and then ended up having money, right? Usually, that is the way to go when you want to be underwater and underground, because you can have power and start moving the things behind, people that have money. While when you have money and maybe don't have too much tooth to play around this game, well, then you get manipulated out of your own money, and then get bid back from C or whatever. The thing is, usually seeking for power, that's where you're going to be seeing the politics going from one side to another. Just remember that on the politics, when we're talking about politics, right? Because what Piper is saying, I would actually do the same. I would rather have money and disappear and kind of like do my own stuff, right? But I think Trade Flight might have the winning point in here, because while having power, you can do a ton of things without even moving a penny. While having power, you get things for free. Yep.
If I have that much money, I'm taking both of you guys with me, because I need a pilot to get off my private island, and I need an engineer to keep everything running on my island. So, you guys are obviously going, duh.
Hey, I'm gonna let you guys know, if you watch those movies where the world comes to an end, who always survives? The people that fly planes. I'm just saying. Just saying.
This is true. Very true.
Just to wrap things up and not make it that long for this opinion, I think Kamala is going to win because she's on power, right? She's sitting on the power pile, while Trump might be sitting on the money pile. But when you investigate, it's a combination of both. So by being in power, I think Kamala is going to be winning because she can turn people's opinion by maybe, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that maybe power can manipulate guys by offering a free pass to Yale, right? Or maybe a condition to get you onto Yale, right? I'm not saying that. But yes, exactly. But that is exactly what happens here. And basically, when the new party on Mexican Power jumped in, everybody from the opposite party who were to be devils, they become day and night angels. And that was like a mind blowing. Like, hey, dude, don't you
Funny,
have values? Right?
funny
Aren't
enough, when you
standing for
said
those, right?
funny enough, when you said you think Kamala Harris is going to win, we got a dislike. Someone disliked the video. Just so you know, a dislike and a like both count in the algorithm as an engagement. So thank you either way. He's just telling you facts. He's not telling you
But
who
our
he wants
viewers
to win.
went up. I'm just
Our
saying.
viewers went up and we got a dislike. I don't care. Thanks for the engagement. Look, right now, I don't think we're going to know who's going to win. Honestly, I think LBC called it. We're not going to know who won until like Thursday, Friday, guys. And I think this is going to be one of the most highly contested elections that we've had in years and years and years. And I mean, every 4 years being a year, a cycle of elections. I posted in our Discord yesterday that several states have already activated their National Guard because of election outcry and just violence on the streets. So yeah, I think that this is going to be a pretty bad one. You guys just keep your head on the swivel and be
I
safe
was
out
gonna
there.
say, and Retro Mike Tech was talking about that earlier. He was like, "Hey, man, it may be the brink of civil war," and I honestly I feel like it's closer than we've ever been, and we're just so divided right now in the nation, and
Target locked. Ready.
Come to my house.
yeah. Unfortunately, that's the bad part of the Orange Man, right? Like, he is such a divisive character. Besides, he is the anti-government, elected official. He's fighting an uphill battle to start with.
Hot take. I'm going to say something here that's probably going to trigger some people. I apologize if it does. We're on the roll. We're on the path to demonetization today, anyways. The divisiveness did not start with Trump. The divisiveness started under Obama. Everyone talks about how much Trump has divided. We started the divided mentality under Obama. Period. You go back and look in your headlines, you will see it. Everyone wants to place it on Trump. That started under Barack Obama. So
I'm not saying where it started. He just has a divisive personality. Right, he is a lover hate kind of guy.
Get the bear.
Yeah,
but I mean, I do agree with Treadflight because that's something that I really hate about that persona. Let's call it persona, because he has said this publicly. He is a showman, right? Look at the programs that he's been in. Look at the foundings that he's been doing. Remember that "You Are Fire," right? And that he just the world ended stuff, right? I mean, I think he knows how to read people and knows where to push those buttons that hurt and had a reaction back. The thing is that made me actually change my mind. And I'm not a U.S. citizen, guys. This is just coming from outside. So if you don't like me, click a like.
Hey, we're used to things from Mexico coming in from the outside. Don't worry. Welcome to America.
Jesus.
Oh, especially green things, right? All right. So the thing is that both of these personas, Kamala and the orange guy, has been in the office. Guys, go for the numbers. Who performed better? That's it, right? I will say that. That's it. Who is the nerd in this case, right? And I mean, if I could go back and tell that my people that I tried to, right? Guys, do not vote for the popular guy. Vote for the nerd. Vote for the guy that knows who's doing how he's doing stuff, right? I mean, I will vote for you both, but I mean, don't vote for the popular guy. Vote for the nerd.
Would never in a million years run for president ever. Did you not hear my statement? I'd rather have money than power. I don't want to be president. I'll take the money.
And that's what I was kind of saying with my point. There's some people that are just fine with having the money and don't give an F about the rest, man. And that's cool. But as I mature and get older, I really want to make a change. And I mean that sincerely. I really want to leave this place a little bit better than the way I found it. And it was once very, very proud of what we were as a society in America. And I feel like we're losing I feel like we're losing part of that, man. And I'm being like so honest and sincere, like being within the military. Like I feel like we were something to be proud of and we're not anymore. We're very divided. And I think that we need somebody in office that actually brings us together. And that is the basis of what they will be running for. And that will be the message that they give to the people is that I am here to be your elected official and represent you and bring us together, once again, so that we can actually push forward and like really like exercise like the capability that we have as America, because it's crazy. It's
Yep.
crazy. Like we are leaps and bounds ahead of many, many places in the world, and we are wasting it half of the time arguing with each other. It's bananas.
Facts. Shout out to Alex, though. He said he called in from Canada, voted for Kamala Harris. They didn't even ask him for an ID or to verify his
Can you
identity.
ban Alex real quick?
And
Thank you.
can I what?
Can you ban him real quick?
Ban him? No, I can't. But I do have a joke for him. What type of pants do psychics wear, Alex O? A paranormal pants. There you go. So, let's go ahead and jump in. I want to take a look at gold trade fly. If you want to go ahead and pull up gold, I know you love your
I
gold.
love gold.
I know you do. Let's look at gold. And then OC, if you want to pull up Bitcoin dominance and just take a look at what's going on there, and I think that should wrap out the show, because really looking at any altcoins right now doesn't matter too much, but gold and that dominance does. It might tell you where to not put your money, altcoins right now. OC, what you got for me, bro? Let's jump over to dominance first, and then we'll come back, finish it out with gold with TradeFly.
Absolutely, looking really quick for dominance. I know I have there we go. It's right here. Let's go to the chart. We just hit 60% like a couple of days ago. Come on, play it, open it. All right, perfect. Oh, we had it before. Oh, we had it right here. All right, so dominance 60%. Guys, usually when we hit that 60%, I'm on the monthly. Let's go to the a little bit closer here. Let's go to the daily, much better. Here we go. We're at previous highs, right? Or at least we're in a very resistant area, right? 60% already being hit. I mean, and keep rising. So the point is that people are having more Bitcoin than any other thing. Kind of like this is giving away something. Everything that goes up must go down, right? So where are you going to be allocating? If everybody's on Bitcoin and then Bitcoin start going up or even down, well, people are going to be withdrawing other gains for longs or shorts, right? And then what's going to happen? What are they going to be placing their money? Well, then this is what I believe. When before we have or a big movement, we should be looking for a big retracement, right? And I'm going to say this with quotation because this is not really a big retracement. But I will give you the heads up to maybe start allocating your money for maybe high volatility. Take this with tweezers. This is not financial advice. High volatility coins for small positions, right? Regular leverage, right? And also a long-term scenario altcoins. That will give you a good positioning, right? Not that you're going to be winning them all, but will be giving you a good positioning as people start de-risking out of Bitcoin or moving their money out for profits and then reallocating them into a little bit more risky assets. We've been pushing up hard. Before I throw it back to Piper, I just want to give you the heads up on weekly, monthly on oil. We went back down to this area. Let's go to the 4 hour. Remember, that's why we have this little line right down here. We'll see it very quick. Come on, load fast, please. Oil. Let's go to burnt. There we go. Perfect. This is the area that we were looking at for re-entry. So hopefully you did have that heads up. Once again, look at that flip of the ribbon moving upwards. But we have not yet finished or get out of the dangerous zone, right? Really quick. Let me go to once again to weekly. We need to get away and far up out of this area. When we start losing this area, well, then start panicking because possibly a recession is coming. But so far, we have a goose head. Things are looking okay for now. Let me try it back to you guys.
Yeah, I want to jump in here real fast on that Bitcoin dominance because something that I'm seeing here, and shout out to Wrecked Capital on X also. He dropped this chart here talking about the Bitcoin dominance, looking at the monthly. And he said that history is repeating. You can see the nice pattern down here where it has broken out and continued up just like we had support before. And if I jump over to my chart and take a look at it here, you can see that right now we are coming in on the golden pocket there that's in the 60% range, 61%. But technically, going all the way back into December 2020, January 2021, we were hitting up to 71%, guys, and that would be up in the range of the platinum pocket. So I do see that Bitcoin dominance, if we continue with the volatility in the markets and uncertainty, Bitcoin dominance will definitely be the play to be watching, giving you indication that Bitcoin might be the choice. Let's jump over to gold and see how gold's performing. Since we talked so much about digital gold and its dominance, where's gold at right now? TradeFly, what you got for us, bro?
Right on. Yeah, I got gold up on the weekly right now, just kind of taking a look-see at that. But I mean, what do you really want to say here? How much higher can we go? At some point, we're going to have a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of retracement, and then we start looking at levels of like where that could actually happen at. So if you do remember last time we went to an all-time high on Bitcoin, one of the things we looked for was where was the previous range established? It was right here. Okay, so what I would do, like if I'm looking at an entry on gold, is I'm going to go ahead and mark that range, right? That's the last time that we established a range. And then we go ahead, change these colors to green here. So we can do this live together. And these are kind of the first pit stops I would start looking at. Let's go ahead and do a fib retracement off that as well, right? Let's go through the process together of how we would actually look at this and maybe get into an entry on gold, even though I think it's crazy high right now. So there you go. Golden pocket kind of aligns with your top side right here. So that's probably going to be a key area to look at, somewhere around 20 or 2400 or so. 2450 I think is probably a little bit more realistic. Bottom side here, you see support, you see the top side as resistance. That's an area to keep an eye on for gold if we get a pullback. But the thing is, right, when this has a lot to do with what's going on in the world as well. So like that's the sentiment. You really got to think about that. Is there wars going on? Check the box. Is there uncertainty with the presidential election? Check the box. Is there fear of recession? Check the box. What happens? People go to tangible assets, right? They go to things like gold. So I'll give you an area there of where I think it can go. Like, I'm not even going to try to make a prediction on where it could go. That's speculation. I hate doing things like that. We're already up. If we come down to the oscillator, though, what are we seeing? We are seeing some overbought as well as some strikes of bearish divergence. Now, I've told you guys this before. It's an oscillator. You can see this multiple times as something presses up with authority. But I would hope that after the election, we'll get kind of a settled out sentiment in terms of like that unpredictable, like where are we going to go, what's going to happen thing. And then you can start to see the markets kind of recover and push up. Right now, there's just a lot of uncertainty. And, you know, I'd be careful. I don't like getting into assets at all-time highs. I say that over and over again. That's kind of, I'm going to stick to that in this case as well. So I think that your potential for returns and better gains still lie with Bitcoin in this case in comparison to gold. Now, if you want something very conservative and safe, gold might be the play in times of uncertainty. But I think there's probably still better plays there than trying to buy something that is at an all-time high. I would kind of wait for it to retrace, come back, find some levels that make sense for you, and then we'll look at it. Now, if the world goes to poo-poo, we're talking about world wars and all that good stuff, then switch over to some tangible assets that you can trade and barter with. But I don't think we're there yet. Zombie apocalypse is not here. So that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, awesome, man. I appreciate everybody that joined us today. Great show today, guys. Appreciate all the alumni that joined us here. Leonard Beaches did a really, really good show this morning with BC Port Corp. So you guys need to go check that out, the 365-day chart. So go watch that this morning on Good Morning Crypto right here on Piper Academy. Multiple points of content that we bring you over here, guys. But I shout out to everybody that joined us today. We appreciate you guys. And remember, we do have some volatile time ahead today, tomorrow. We probably won't know who actually wins. I think we're going to see the biggest volatility come Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, especially with Asian market coming in as all of the data is coming in from the votes. So, guys, be watching out for Wednesday high volatility also. But TradeFly, what do you got for the people on the way out? And then OC will bring it around to you before we head out of here and go raid Randy Hipper's frat house. So.
Hey, as always, it's great being here on the morning shows. It was a great conversation this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, go ahead, give us that like and subscribe. We would really appreciate that. We are trying to continue to grow and bring you guys more and more content each day. If you haven't noticed, we're adding content creators. We're trying to do it big around here. We want to be that network that provides you value all day long. That's the goal. So that's what I got. You guys trade safe, be safe, and I will see you later on the Crypto Nightcap.
Hell yeah. OC, what you got for the people, man?
Guys, thank you so much for joining. If you haven't, please consider click that like button and also subscribing because after this cancellation of today, I don't know if you're going to survive it, but I will try to keep bringing you the good stuff. Guys, also just a little bit of making sure I'm not saying any party is going to be winning. I just gave you my expectations based on what I see facts. Remember, that is not up to me, it's up to you. So go out there, vote for your candidate and make it a reality. But above all, remember that your neighbor that thinks differently than you, that he's not your enemy. He is in the same position as you, on the same boat, and who's going to be steering it as the Titanic is going to be the guy or the girl in the office. So make sure you make a good decision. All right. Other than that, whoever wins, when they become public servants, that's when you need to start criticize them, regardless if it was or was not your candidate.
Yep.
Other than that, guys, please spread the word, spread the love, and turn it back to you, my friends.
Appreciate it, OC. Thanks, TradeFly. All right, guys. We're getting ready to head out of here. We appreciate y'all joining us today. Don't forget to tune in tonight to Crypto Nightcap with TradeFly and FD White Invests. That's going to be on at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow morning, catch Good Morning Crypto with BC Port Corp and Lunar Beaches Crypto right here on the Piper Academy channel. And then I'll be opening up tomorrow talking about how the election day is looking and, looking at the charts, watching the volatility, seeing if we can find something out there for some trades on the morning market report. Guys, remember, we got one day left before we've got 2 days left. We got today and tomorrow. So go vote if you have not voted yet, and we will catch you guys. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Billy Goat Tales, I'm going to be on there with them talking about this election data some more and watching as the data is coming in. At the end of the day, it's really going to come down to our best chance for all of the assets and all of the markets. Write this down. It's going to be on who controls all three branches. If we have a broken branch control between the three branches of government and no one party controls either one, it's better for the market. So even if, Kamala Harris wins presidency and the Republicans take something, House or Senate and, whatever the case may be, if it's broken and one party doesn't control all three, the markets tend to do better. So that's just the way it rolls, guys, because they can't make any decisions to F things up, and that makes investors bullish. So we're going to be tuning in tomorrow, right back here again at 9:30 a.m., guys. Until then, trade safe. As always, use a stop loss and love each other. How about that one? You guys make love, the Wicks. Love each other like the Wicks. There you go. Later, guys. Let's go raid Randy Hipper's house.
I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low.
Shakalaka!
Sound off to get with them.
Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome,